Earthbound! I want Earthbound! What? That's the franchise I want to see on the Switch, Earthbound! Okay, but can you please wait until the introduction of the video? Oh, okay. In the distant past, Nintendo used to have two consoles in the market at the same time. One to play on the TV and the other a handheld with its own screen, sometimes even two screens. However, since 2017 we've been living in a world where the lines that separate a portable game and a TV game have been blurred. Nintendo has only one video game in the market, the Nintendo Switch, and inside the company all of the teams are dedicated to this one hybrid console. This new existing condition raised my expectations to the sky. Now that the company is focusing their whole teams on this very successful product, I want to see all of Nintendo's franchises on it. So far they've been corresponding my expectations. The Switch has almost all of Nintendo's biggest names and some of the small ones too. However, this little company has a very extensive catalog and we are very insatiable fans. So, let's see 5 Nintendo franchises that are still nowhere to be found on the Switch. Well, here's the thing. Star Fox is in a very strange situation right now. The franchise is one of the most recognizable ones from Nintendo. Everyone knows Fox, he's in Smash, and everyone knows the phrase "do a barrel roll." But after Star Fox 64, the series has struggled to find the same success, with almost every game trying a different approach, including the most recent one, Star Fox Zero, developed by Platinum. The game tried to use the Wii U gamepad at its maximum capacity, creating immersive gameplay where you see a first-person view in the gamepad to shoot and a third-person view on the TV to control your ship. The obvious problem is the fact that although we have two eyes, we usually can only focus on one thing at a time. So yeah, the game didn't make any favors to the series, and now I think that Nintendo is a little worried to invest in a new product for the franchise. However, I don't think they should give up on Fox. It's time to go back to a great development team and give them the time and the money to create a game as good as Star Fox 64, modernizing the classic elements of the series but still capturing the essence of a good Star Fox experience. A simple and intuitive control, good dialogue, and great level design. Should we give the game to Ubisoft because they made Starlink Battle for Atlas? I don't think so. Starlink is not a bad game, but has a very repetitive nature and is way more open than your usual Star Fox, which is focused on on-rail levels with tight level design. So, I was talking about clunky controls in Star Fox Zero, and Kid Icarus suffered something similar on the 3DS. Don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic game, but in my opinion it's an experience that demands a better controller than what the 3DS can provide, and that's why I can't understand why we didn't see a Switch port of the game. Now that Sakurai is finally done with Smash, nothing's stopping him from producing a new Kid Icarus, with a high budget for a home console. A second analog and motion control would create a way more enjoyable experience, and can you imagine how the game would look like? The graphics were already very impressive on the small 3DS, with cool bosses and cinematics during the whole game. I just want to play something like that on my TV. And I don't think the developers should try anything radically different. It was already a very fresh experience for the series on the 3DS when you compare it with the NES game, so it could probably replicate the style that had on-rail sections and exploratory sections. That's a very popular one. During the last 10 years we've seen very vocal fans asking for a new F-Zero game, and Miyamoto has stated more than one time that he is not very interested in it, because he can't think of something new to do with the series. So you probably know that, but creatively Nintendo likes to always think about the gameplay first. They usually produce a lot of prototypes with gameplay ideas before they even think about what franchise they are working on. That's how they come up with games like Splatoon and ARMS, for example. When Miyamoto states something like that about F-Zero, it seems to me that they can't think about an idea that would fit well in the series. But also, that's not a very good excuse. First of all, in many franchises, Nintendo doesn't wait until they have a new idea to create a new one. They are always producing a new Mario, a new Zelda, and more. Secondly, you can do many new things with a modern F-Zero game. Just to give one example, an online mode with more than 50 players running at the same time is a very fun concept that fits perfectly in the series. So yeah, I think a new F-Zero on the Switch is a very good idea, and like I said with Star Fox, the series is very recognizable. Captain Falcon has a very strong personality, and I think more people know him than the series, to be honest. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. Just bring back good old F-Zero in high definition that I think most of the fans will be more than happy to play. Okay, listen to me. Mario Strikers is one of the best Mario sports games and you should definitely play it. I'm serious. The game is abundant with personality and quality, developed by the studio recently acquired by Nintendo Next Level Games. Instead of simply creating the usual Mario sports experience where you could put Mario and his friends on a soccer field, they created a whole crazy setting where a very violent style of soccer is played with all of the characters wearing armor and no judge to call a foul. The series has only 2 games, both are very similar in gameplay and style, with the one on the Wii being a natural evolution of the first one on the GameCube. Although the game is pure fun, I think there's a lot of space to expand on some concepts to create a more balanced experience. And it's a series that we never saw in HD, so it would be cool to watch all those crazy animations in HD for the first time. There's some concern with a new game on this series because of how Nintendo policy seems to have changed about the use of the characters from the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario Strikers has some crazy interpretation for the personality of these characters.
Luigi, yeah. Want the ball? Yeah.
But honestly, I think Nintendo is probably aware that the aesthetic of this game is one of the major aspects that make it so special. Perhaps they will just ask the developers to dial back a little, but maintaining the same vibe. Do you know that game you never played, but everyone says to you, dude, you have to play this one, it's one of the best? That's Golden Sun to me. I'm a big fan of JRPGs and Nintendo has some great ones like Xenoblade, Fire Emblem and of course Pokémon. But what about Golden Sun? The series was highly acclaimed with 2 games on the GBA and a third one on the DS, but after that no new ones were made. One of my favorite things about the Switch is how he's bringing games that were traditionally handheld only to the big TV, like a mainline Pokémon or a 2D Metroid. And that's exactly what I want to happen with Golden Sun. As far as I know, the series has a great gameplay and story with puzzles and combat and exploration. Imagine how cool it would be to see all of this in full 3D with cutscenes and all of that. But there's also another possibility. What if the game retains its classic feel with a stylized graphic style? Could be something similar to Square Enix Octopath Traveler or even the remake of Link's Awakening. I think it would be an interesting way to bring the series back without a AAA budget. Camelot, the developer behind Golden Sun, has a very competent team and I think they can do something way bigger than just tennis and golf. The producer of the series, Hiroyuki Takahashi, is still in the company and I'm sure that he would be pleased to make a new game on the series. That's it! 5 games that are nowhere. What about Earthbound? Oh. I don't think Earthbound has a very good chance at coming back, to be honest. The creator doesn't work with games anymore, and I don't think Nintendo can create a new one without him. So yeah, that's a little sad. I waited the whole video, and that's what you have to say. Oh no. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments which franchise do you want to see on the Switch. Until next time, bye!